This is JD Kelly reporting for Universal Network News, universalnetworknews.com, live from the St. George Hotel at 3rd Main Street in downtown Los Angeles, where an officer-involved shooting occurred this afternoon. According to the LAPD, they received a disturbance call from this location. When officers arrived, they contacted the reporting party, who directed them to a room on the 5th floor of the St. George Hotel. Officers knocked on the door where they encountered a woman in her 50s who was holding a knife. At that time, an officer-involved shooting occurred. The woman was taken to a local area hospital where she is listed in serious condition. No officers were injured in this incident.
Spell the last one, guys.
Gusvillnueva. I had to think, sorry.
It's Friday, I gotta go. Tell me how this started, what happened?
Okay, earlier about 1 o'clock this afternoon, Central Patrol officers responded to a radio call here in the 100 block of East 3rd Street at this hotel just behind me of a disturbance on the 5th floor. Some type of assault investigation is our understanding. When they arrived, they met the person who contacted the police. They made contact with that individual, who then directed them to another room or apartment on the same floor of the building. The officers conducted a follow-up investigation to that room where they made contact with a woman who was armed with a knife. At that point, an officer-involved shooting occurred. None of the officers were injured. The woman was wounded and taken to a local hospital. My understanding is her condition is serious. Apparently she's in her 50s. I don't know her exact age. I don't know her identification or anything other than that. Force Investigation Division is on hand conducting the investigation into the officer-involved shooting, as well as representatives from the Office of the Inspector General.
And how many officers were here?
Understanding at this point, preliminarily it's 2 officers. Whether 2 officers actually fired, I don't know yet. My understanding is that 2 were here initially, or 2 were here at the outset of the incident. How many officers fired or anything of that nature, I don't have the information on that.
And tell me again, so there's some kind of assault, some kind of fight in the hotel, your officers respond, and then what happens from there? Kind of like they go to the room, what?
Yeah, basically they made contact with the person that called them. I believe that was the victim. Everything's still sketchy at this point, and then that individual directed them to the other room where the woman with the knife was at.
And they opened the door, or did she attack them? What did, like?
I don't know the circumstances of her actions that led up to the officer-involved shooting. I'm still waiting to hear on that.
But the basic is just that they opened the door, or she opened the door and she's armed.
That's my understanding.
Tell me that one, your understanding of what the basic is.
Yeah, my understanding is that when they knocked on the door, she opened it. She was armed with a knife, and at that point, an officer-involved shooting occurred. I don't know what her actions were at that moment, and I'm still waiting to hear on that. All right.
I appreciate it.
My name is General Jeff, General Jeff. Okay. And I am on the board of directors for the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council, where I represent the Skid Row residents, 3-term board member since 2008 to the present, and I'm also a community activist on behalf of the Skid Row residents. And I've been here for since 2006, and I was just recently named a state-appointed officer for the Office of Health Equity Advisory Committee in Sacramento.
Okay, so you're affiliated with the state government?
On a volunteer basis, but I'm a Skid Row resident, and you know, I'm trying to lead by example. So how
did you hear about this today?
Skid Row, some other Skid Row residents contacted me and said that you know, anytime there's a situation, they contact me, and so they said there's a shooting at the St. George. You know, and maybe it's something serious. You need to go over there and check it out.
What's your understanding of what happened?
As far as I know, I just arrived on scene, so I know that there's a shooting at the Skid Row Housing Trust building. Skid Row Housing Trust, a low-income housing provider for various formerly homeless folks in recovery, mentally ill, and lots of other different struggling types of demographics. And so this particular building, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you can contact Skid Row Housing Trust to get that kind of information.
How many occupants do you know?
In this particular building, I'm not sure, but I would imagine just on the size, possibly in the 50 or 60 range.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you say people here in this house or in this apartment, I mean, rather, is this a weekly or monthly setup?
This is a 12-month lease. 12-month lease. It's the government subsidy, so you pay a third of your income. They have low income, so whether it's GR, which is welfare, general relief, or SSI, Social Security Disability, or even if they have market rate units, then whatever your income is would be a third of your income. And the rest is government subsidy.
Subsidy? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a card?
You know, I don't have a card on me.
What's your phone number?
Area code 323-445-0723. Email address is general.jeff@dlanc.com. And DLANC is the acronym for Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
This has been JD Kelly reporting for Universal Network News, universalnetworknews.com, live from 3rd Main Street in front of the St. George Hotel, downtown Los Angeles.